I'm going to show you exactly how Uniswap liquidity pools work, and I'm going to give you a very simple explanation on the entire process. This was one of the most important concepts for me to understand in my crypto journey of making millions of dollars. You need to know liquidity. You have to understand how the buying and selling works, because this determines the price of all of the cryptocurrencies. So in this video, I'm going to break it down to you as simple and elegant as possible. And I'm also going to give you a small tutorial on how to find 100x altcoins within these liquidity pools. So the first thing is you come over here to the Uniswap website, and you can come over here to go to launch app, and you go over here to explore, and you can click pools. So these are all the liquidity pools, right? You can see that you see the total TVL. TVL means total value locked of all Uniswap. You see the volume. Volume means basically how many trades are happening. And then below you see tokens and how much the price is and the volume and all of these different metrics. But pools is kind of like where the money's at. I want to focus on pools, but you could also look at the transactions depending on what network you're at, but we have to connect to the network. We're going to ignore that for now. I want to focus on the pools. So you notice how every single one of these pools has a pair. A pair is the first coin divided by the second coin. So this is how the price of charts work. For example, if I have a price chart like Bitcoin USD, whatever the first coin is determines the upward motion of the chart. So if I were to flip this, let's say it was USD and Bitcoin, this chart would be exactly opposite. So we'll see, charts like ETH BTC. So in this case, right, in this chart right here, we have Ethereum divided by Bitcoin. This means that if it goes up, that means Ethereum is making more money than Bitcoin if it goes up. And if it goes down, that means Bitcoin's doing better. It's important to understand pairs to understand the actual liquidity pools. So in these liquidity pools, we have two different coins, and that's a pair, right? So Link versus ETH, meaning if Link is doing better than ETH, it will go up. If Link was doing worse than ETH, it'll go down, right? So very important to understand. Now, if I click this actual pair and we go in here, we see a couple of metrics. The first thing is TVL. That's the total value of money in the pool, AKA the total value locked, right? And we scroll down and we could actually see all of the transactions happening in that pool. And we could actually switch the volume chart here to liquidity. And that to me is the most important element of this whole thing, is just understanding when the liquidity was added and taken away. To me, liquidity is the most important variable of anything. And let me show you why. So as you can see here, we have a pair at the top and we have a liquidity pool. This is a balanced liquidity pool, meaning it's 50-50. Every pool seeks to have balance. Basically, it's supposed to have half of one of the assets, half of the others. And this is the automated market maker model. Basically, what that means is that it's automating all of the trades. There's no person that controls this. There's basically code that controls this. And here's the diagram. You'll have someone called liquidity providers, people that provide liquidity to the actual Uniswap pool. And they'll do it in both tokens, right? So they'll do it like, for example, ETH USD, right? And they'll provide $500 of this token, 500 of the token B, and they'll be given basically something called LP tokens. Think about it like a bank. When you put money into a bank, you give the bank money, and then they give you kind of like a receipt in return. It's the same thing. So when they want to get their money out, they could essentially give the LP tokens back, and they'll get back their original tokens. Now, the reason why they do this is because it actually generates transaction fees. So as you can see right here, you see the 24-hour fees. This is how much they actually made. The pool made this many fees, and it gets distributed to all the liquidity providers. So if I'm a liquidity provider and I have 25% of the entire pool, meaning I have the LP tokens that basically verify ownership of 25% of the pool, then what's going to happen is I'm going to get 25% of all of these fees. So this is why liquidity providers provide liquidity, because they want to make money off the fees. So when it comes to the actual pool, we have traders that come in and they want to trade, for example, Ethereum. They want to sell their Ethereum and get USD, or they want to buy Ethereum with USD, right? So they do either or. There's buyers and sellers in every single trading opportunity, right? So in the actual liquidity pool, they'll buy and sell, and it actually displaces the pool slightly based on how much they buy and sell. So here's kind of an example. You see a perfectly balanced pool. That's usually how it starts. Now, some people have a lot of money. So let's say hypothetically the liquidity pool only has like $1 million worth of TVL, and somebody comes in and sells $500,000 worth of ETH, right? So he's selling his ETH, meaning he's giving ETH to the pool. And what's going to happen is that pool is going to get displaced. The pool is going to give the person a whole bunch of USDC. And for a small period of time, you're going to have a lot of ETH and a little bit of USDC. So for this specific pool, okay, the price of ETH will increase, not the overall ETH of the entire market, but in that pool, the price will increase. What people don't understand is that the price is an aggregation of all of these pools. So if you have centralized exchanges like Coinbase and Binance, they have their own version of pools. They use a different model called the order book model. And all of the prices of the centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges pretty much come together to give you an aggregate price or just kind of an overall price. And sometimes these pools, again, will get displaced. So let's say hypothetically, this red pool got super displaced. Like somebody just bought a whole bunch or sold a whole bunch of Ethereum and it was unbalanced. What's going to happen is there will be these bots, these arbitrage bots. If you ever looked on the internet and looked up crypto arbitrage, this is what it is. The difference between one pool and another pool, there might be a price discrepancy, right? So on this pool, the asset can be $10, and on this pool, the asset's $5 for a short period of time. What happens is these bots will automatically recognize that, and they'll buy the $5 version and sell it to the $10 version pool to make money. So they make money, but at the same time, they're actually evening out the pools. So if one pool gets displaced, there's a whole bunch of bots that essentially pool liquidity from the best prices of all the pools and automatically balance the entire price of the market. Hopefully that makes sense. And this is exactly how automated market makers work with liquidity pools. And it works for pretty much every liquidity pool, but especially for Uniswap, which they're like the first big decentralized exchange in cryptocurrency. But that's pretty much it for this video. That's a complete explanation on how this all works and how it relates to price. If you like the quality of this content, hit like. If you don't, leave some constructive criticism, subscribe for more video updates. And like I always say, if you don't get with it, you will get left behind. Catch you guys later. Peace out.